Have you ever wondered how just visiting a website could potentially give someone access to your home network without installing anything on your system? Sounds unreal, right? But in web security, this is exactly the kind of thing that can happen when assumptions break in unexpected ways. So let's talk about it. And more importantly, let's understand it deeply. Because once you see how it works, you'll never look at just a website visit the same way again. Welcome to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Now, let's get into it. We start with DNS Rebinding, one of those web security attacks that sounds almost magical at first. A simple website visit somehow turns into a way for an attacker to reach inside your private network. No malware installation, no software exploit, nothing obvious. Just your browser doing what it normally does. And that's what makes it dangerous. To really understand it, we'll go step by step from how DNS works to how browsers think, and finally how attackers exploit the gap between the two. So first, let's understand the foundation. DNS, or the domain name system, is basically the internet's phone book. When you type a domain like example.com, DNS quietly translates it into an IP address, like 93.184.216.34. And usually, this mapping feels stable. So your browser builds a very important assumption on top of that stability. If I visited this domain before, it should still point to the same server. That assumption is what everything builds on. Now, on top of that, browsers enforce a core security rule called the same origin policy. And the idea behind it is simple. A website can only interact with its own domain. It cannot freely access data from other domains. This prevents things like stealing your bank session, reading private emails, or accessing outer pages. But there's a hidden assumption behind this rule. A very important one. A domain name always points to the same server. And DNS Rebinding breaks exactly that assumption. DNS Rebinding is an attack where a domain name changes its IP address after the victim has already started trusting it. Here's the trick in plain terms. At first, you visit a malicious website like evil.example. DNS resolves it to a public server controlled by the attacker. Your browser loads scripts normally. Everything looks safe at this stage. But then something changes. Behind the scenes, DNS suddenly updates. And now that same domain points somewhere completely different, like 192.168.1.1, which could be your router, 127.0.0.1, which is your own machine, or internal company services. But your browser still thinks, I'm talking to evil.example, and that mismatch is the entire attack. Now here's why this works, and this is where the real security gap appears. Browsers don't constantly recheck whether a domain has changed IPs after the connection starts. Once a script is running under a domain, the browser treats it as trusted for that session. So now you get a split reality. DNS says, this is a private IP now. Browser says, this is still the same trusted origin. And the attacker quietly takes advantage of that gap. It's not a bug in one system. It's a mismatch between two systems that normally don't disagree. Now let's go deeper into what happens next, because this is where things become really interesting. Once DNS Rebinding works, the attacker is no longer just interacting with the victim. They are effectively using the victim's browser as a bridge, a kind of proxy into the internal network. Here's what that means in practical terms. The browser can send requests to internal IP addresses. It can read responses from local devices, and it can send that data back to the attacker's server. But the key point is this. The attacker never directly touches the network. Instead, the victim's browser becomes the middleman. That's why it's often described as turning the browser into a network proxy. Now let's walk through the typical attack flow, step by step, so it becomes even clearer. First, the attacker lures the victim. The user visits a malicious website. Then comes the initial safe load. DNS resolves the attacker's domain to a public server, and the browser loads JavaScript normally. Next, the rebinding occurs. After a short delay, DNS changes. Now the same domain points to a private IP, but the browser doesn't question it. It still treats the domain as trusted. So now comes the internal access. The script starts sending requests into internal services like routers or local dashboards, and finally, data exfiltration happens. Responses are sent back to the attacker's server, and just like that, the browser has become a hidden communication tunnel. Now let's talk about why this is so dangerous in the real world. DNS rebinding is powerful because it bypasses assumptions that many systems rely on. It can target home routers, smart home devices, internal company services, local development servers, and even misconfigured cloud metadata endpoints. And the impact can be serious. Router settings can be changed. DNS can be hijacked. Devices can be controlled. Internal systems can be exposed. And the most important detail, no malware was installed. It all happened inside the browser. Now, in real-world scenarios, this can show up in several ways. In a home network compromise, a victim visits a malicious site, DNS rebinding is used to reach the router, and the attacker changes DNS settings to redirect traffic. In IoT exploitation, smart devices like cameras or thermostats with weak APIs can be accessed directly. And in corporate internal probing, if internal dashboards or APIs are exposed without proper protection, they can be reached through a browser session. But here's the challenge: why this is so hard to detect. The traffic looks like normal browser activity. Requests appear legitimate. DNS changes happen silently. And logs often show nothing unusual. So traditional security tools often miss it entirely. Now, the good news is that defenses do exist, and they work across multiple layers. At the browser level, modern browsers try to block or limit access to private IPs from public domains. At the network level, DNS systems can prevent external domains from resolving to private IP ranges. At the router and IoT level, internal admin panels should require authentication and not be exposed to unauthenticated browser access. At the application level, servers should validate request origins and reject unexpected host headers. And at the cloud level, metadata services should not be freely accessible from user space environments. Now, stepping back, there's a key insight here that ties everything together. DNS rebinding teaches a very important lesson in security design. No single layer is enough. Not DNS, not the browser, not the network, because each one can be correct on its own and still become dangerous when combined. And that's the core idea. Security breaks not just from failures, but from unexpected interactions between correct systems. Now, before we wrap up, here's a quick challenge for you. Think about this carefully. Why does DNS rebinding work even though browsers enforce the same origin policy? What is the key assumption that DNS rebinding breaks? In a rebinding attack, who actually sends requests to internal devices? Why is this attack difficult for traditional security tools to detect? And finally, can you think of one real-world device in your home that might be vulnerable if misconfigured? Pause for a moment and try answering those. Because if you can reason through these, you're already thinking like a security analyst. And finally, to close this out, DNS rebinding isn't flashy. It doesn't break encryption. It doesn't hack systems directly. Instead, it quietly exploits timing, trust, and the hidden assumptions between layers of the internet. And that's what makes it so important in advanced cybersecurity. Because in real-world security, the most dangerous attacks are often the ones that don't break rules. They simply use them differently than expected. If you found this useful, this is part of our Advanced Hacking, Attacks, and Exploitation playlist, where we break down real-world attack techniques step by step. So if you want more deep dives like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Because in the next session, we're going even deeper.